Anthropic have released Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5. They're brand new models that are absolutely insane. Stripe used it to run a migration of 50 million lines of code in one day. That same migration would have taken about 2-3 months and a team of engineers. It's crazy. However, though, there is a catch, and this catch not many people are talking about, so I'm going to run you through it in today's video. If you don't know who I am, my name's Imad. I run a software studio where we build software for clients, and we also run our own portfolio of applications. We've done over $750,000 in 8 months, and the reason we're able to build so quickly and build so much is thanks to AI. So I use these models on a daily basis more than majority of people. I've also started now to teach people how to do this. I don't run a course or anything, but if you DM me, maybe we can work one-to-one and I can teach you how to build applications with these models. You don't need any AI experience, no coding experience, no degree, no qualifications. Just give me a DM and I'll see if you're a right fit. So let's get straight into the video. What's interesting is, technically speaking, these models are the same, right? It's one model, but they're kind of distributed very differently. And that is where a lot of the confusion lies. So I'm going to call this Mythos. I have no idea if I'm saying it correctly, but Mythos 5 is the underlying model. Fable 5 is the same thing, just with a lot more safety guardrails, Anthropic call it. So it's a new tier. It sits above the current Opus 4.8, and it has 1 million tokens as a context window. Now, all that means in plain English is it's able to understand and remember more context in a given session. So you don't have to keep making new chats. Also, another thing, thinking is always on. So you can't turn thinking off, which does mean it takes a lot longer to give you a response, but it's worth it for the extra quality of output. So how good is it actually? Well, if you go to Anthropic's Twitter, they have a chart here of a breakdown. So this is 4.8, where we're currently sitting at. Software engineering, agentic coding, this is the number that we really care about. It's jumped up to 80%. Nearly everything has jumped massively, to be honest with you. If we go down to cybersecurity, that's jumped up from 40 to 78%, so nearly double in the capability of these models when it comes to cybersecurity. If we then compare it to the leading market models, this is Fable 5 sitting at the top at 91% coding accuracy, 4.8 sits at 85%, and then you've got the latest ChatGPT model, GPT 5.5 sitting at 78.3%. So, Anthropic are absolutely killing it right now. A lot of the numbers I'm going through are Anthropic's real numbers. I haven't made any of this up. It's from their own data sets. It's from their own independent testing. And I am going to be releasing a video actually seeing if these numbers are true. And I'm going to be comparing these models. I'm going to be putting these models to the test in real world application. And we'll see if it truly is as good as it sounds. Now, the underlying catch here that most people aren't explaining is the fact that Claude Mythos 5 actually isn't even available. So you can't get this model. This model is for a small group of cyber defenders and infrastructure providers, but it's only available for Project Glasswing, which apparently is a US government project. We can't see this. Now, whether this comes out to the public, we don't know. They say they have a plan to expand it, but again, that's only through their trusted programs, so their trusted partners. And apparently, it's because this model is so dangerous. And so Anthropic tested this model. They found 271 security holes in Firefox, the browser. That's mad, just from this model. So this model is dangerous, actually, which is probably why they've kept it under wraps and they're not giving it out to the public. And it's also probably why the government has to get involved. The public one, though, is Fable 5. There is some talks about Fable 5 locking down on cybersecurity and stuff. So if you really want to use these models for cybersecurity purposes, apparently it shifts the model over to Opus 4.8. I'm going to be trying this. I'm going to see if I can try and get some cybersecurity capability out of it. So stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe. But yeah, again, I can't verify that. So yeah, make sure you stick around and you subscribe. I will be releasing a video, multiple videos actually covering these models, and I'm going to be pushing these out. And the reason being is because these models are only available on subscription until June 22nd. After that, it's going to be available only by usage credits, so API tokens. And I'm not spending that much money because these models cost double the amount as Opus. So on subscription, I have the max plan. I have 2 max plans actually, and I probably hit 70 to 80% of my limit a month. With these models, easily I'll blow through that. So I don't really want to use these on API credits because it will cost a fortune. But Anthropic are very transparent and they say, look, they're trying to, include it within subscription, and they're also trying to actually extend that window as well. So yeah, I've got really 12 days to test out these models and see how good they perform, and what we can actually use it for. The three main things I would say to use these for is complex tasks, really. So you can now build full apps with a lot less prompts. So, the teams who build these app builder tools like, Replit, Base44, Lovable, stuff like that, they're going to benefit a lot from these models just because, you don't have to prompt engineer as much as you used to. These models have a lot better context, a lot better understanding. They, like I said, they require a lot less prompts than what the previous models do. The other thing is longer agentic coding sessions. So if you're anything like me, I don't actually prompt AI that much anymore unless I'm actually building the application. After the app is ready, I set up a few monitors, and the AI actually will monitor its own issues. And when it receives an issue or detects an issue, it will triage it, it will fix it. It will then record a video of it testing itself and then send me that video and I'll approve and deploy the fix. So with these new models, I can run that on a much larger scale and have them going for even longer. They're also apparently more token efficient, which I don't really understand because it's more token efficient, but it also costs more anyway. So does that really matter? But the other thing is they're also very good at now is visuals, and they're very good at heavy documents, so reading charts, PDFs, stuff like that. And this is definitely going to come in handy for designing. So there's actually a video here that Anthropic released, and Claude Fable 5 was able to beat Pokemon Fire Red just using screenshots. So I assume they screenshotted every single frame, they put it into Claude, and Claude was able to beat the game just on screenshots, which is good. It means it can analyze images a lot better than the previous models. Riley Brown here, with only a few prompts, was able to build Lovable Mobile with Fable 5. I mentioned Mythos here, but yeah, with Fable 5, which is insane. This is ridiculous. He's able to build something like this with only a few prompts. I said 2 prompts. That's insane. That is I'm actually blown away by that. I have no words for that. So I definitely need to start testing out these models, and seeing what we can do with them. Now, in terms of when not to use it, I wouldn't use it for basic tasks. At the moment, these models have come so far that we don't necessarily need to use it all the time, right? So Opus 4.8 is already leaps ahead of the models that we're used to on like Sonnet 3.5 and stuff like that. So I would continue to use 4.8 for majority of the tasks. When it's something complex, like a refactor, like for example, recently I just in one prompt actually switched my entire Expo app over to Swift, and Opus 4.8 did smash that with only one prompt. But Fable 5, I assume, would be able to do it in a much more efficient manner. I didn't actually get any bugs, but if I were to, for example, I would assume Fable 5 would be able to bang that out a lot better. I don't think this really changes the type of work that we do, but it kind of makes us adjust, because rather than it changing the job that we do, or change the size of the job that we do. So we can now, like I said, in the beginning of these models, Sonnet 3.5, we were using Cursor. We would basically prompt the AI to say, okay, write this function, make this, can we do this? Now it's more like, go and build this, and then we come back and we check on it, and then we iterate from there. And the AI learns from itself, and it will adapt, and it will fix, and it will find bugs itself a lot better than previous, which again comes into what I said earlier with longer agentic coding sessions. So it's a lot less of prompting. The science of prompting is changing. It's more of that your skill, really, as a developer or someone who wants to build something, is guiding the AI to the right direction. So yeah, this was just a news update. In the next video, I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth and actually comparing these models. We're going to be building some cool stuff. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below. And I'm really going to stress test these models as much as possible. See you in the next one.